You ever meet someone who acts like they're above everyone else, always talking down to you, always making you feel small until karma finally walks in and gives them exactly what they deserve? Well, that was my class rep. She spent months trying to humiliate me in front of everyone, but the day she crossed the line, she had no idea her little queen of the class act was about to blow up in her face. If you've ever had someone treat you like you weren't good enough, or talk down to you just to feel powerful, this story's for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most satisfying classroom revenge stories you'll hear today. When our prep classes first started, I actually thought our class rep, Hannah, was one of those confident, put-together types, the kind of person who always volunteers first, organizes everything, and talks like she owns the room. But confidence is one thing. Superiority complex is another. It started small, little comments here and there. If I asked a question, she'd roll her eyes and smirk. If I gave an answer, she'd say things like, "Oh wow, you knew that? Didn't think this was your subject." At first, I brushed it off. People like her thrive on reactions. But over time, the tone got sharper, more public. She'd make snide remarks under her breath, just loud enough for people to hear. It wasn't full-blown bullying, not yet. It was death by 1,000 cuts. Condescending smiles, fake politeness, sarcastic compliments. She was the type who loved to look nice while being mean. A few weeks later, the teacher assigned us a group project. Fate, or bad luck, decided that Hannah and I would be in the same group. I told myself I'd keep it professional. No drama, no ego. Just do the work and move on. But of course, she couldn't help herself. Every time I shared an idea, she'd interrupt. "Yeah, that's cute, but let's do it my way." If I made a suggestion, she'd smirk and say, "You don't really get how this works, do you?" The rest of the group just awkwardly stayed silent. No one wanted to get on her bad side. It was frustrating, but I kept my cool. I told myself, she's not worth it. Just survive the project, get your grade, and never deal with her again. Then came the day that changed everything. Our teacher decided to rearrange the classroom seating. Everyone had an assigned seat number. When I couldn't find mine, I politely turned to Hannah and asked, "Hey, what seat number did you get?" She didn't even look at me. Instead, she gave this mocking little laugh, the kind that drips with fake sweetness, and said loudly enough for the whole class to hear, "The chairs are right there. Count them." "Don't you know how to count?" The class went silent for a moment. Then a few people laughed nervously. My chest burned. It wasn't just embarrassment. It was months of frustration, swallowed words, and quiet humiliation all exploding at once. Something in me snapped. I stood up, looked her right in the eye, and said, "Fucking stupid bitch. I asked what number you had, not if I know how to count." The room froze. Her fake smile vanished instantly. Her face went pale, then red. She stormed out of her chair, stomped to the teacher's desk, and started yelling, crying even, saying I had attacked her verbally, that I was rude and disrespectful. She played the victim card so hard, it would have won an Oscar. Now here's where karma decided to join the show. What Hannah didn't know was that the teacher had been keeping an eye on her behavior for weeks. Turns out, I wasn't the first person she'd belittled. She had made snide comments to a few others too, but no one had stood up to her before. So when she tried to get me in trouble, expecting instant sympathy, the teacher didn't comfort her. Instead, she said, "Hannah, I've had enough. You've been warned before about your attitude. Sit down. I'll be filing a report about this." The entire class went dead silent. You could practically hear her pride shatter. Her voice cracked as she tried to defend herself. But he called me, and the teacher cut her off. "You've been creating tension for weeks. This is on you." She looked around the room for support. No one said a word. Even her usual little sidekicks looked away. Finally, she burst into tears and ran out of the room. The aftermath. Silence never felt so good after class. I sat quietly, trying to process what just happened. My hands were still shaking, not from fear, but from release. A couple of classmates came up to me and whispered, "Dude, thank you." Someone had to say it. "She's been treating everyone like trash." "You just said what we all wanted to." For the first time, I didn't feel small. I felt seen. Later that day, my mom found out about it. And you know what she said? She just shrugged and laughed. Honestly, I would have said worse. That was the moment I realized sometimes standing up for yourself isn't about being polite. It's about setting boundaries. I won't pretend it was elegant. I won't pretend I was proud of swearing in class. But you know what? It was real. Sometimes people only understand respect when you stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. And that day, Hannah finally met her limit. She learned that the person you keep pushing might just be the one who pushes back harder. And to this day, every time I think about her face when the teacher sided with me, yeah, I'll admit it, it still feels 10/10 satisfying. She mocked me for asking a question. She tried to embarrass me in front of everyone. But when the truth came out, the only person embarrassed was her. Karma didn't need my help. I just gave it a little push. Life's funny like that. People who treat others like they're beneath them eventually trip on their own arrogance. You don't have to plan some grand revenge. Sometimes, standing up once is all it takes to expose a bully. If this story gave you chills, or made you smile even a little, go ahead and hit that like button, comment below. Have you ever dealt with a Hannah in your life? And, of course, don't forget to subscribe for more real-life revenge stories where karma always wins.